Our next contest of the Better Photography Weekly Challenge is Creative Shadows. Our judge and mentor is Mr. Idris Ahmed. His practice spans across various genres. With Doling Kindersley, he was commissioned to document various countries for their guides, such as Israel, Sri Lanka, and Delhi. His oeuvre has since been exhibited in many galleries and cultural centers, including solo shows at Alliance Francaise and India International Center. Along with his work, he teaches photography courses and workshops at various institutes, conducts photo expeditions, and runs Photo Commune, a collective of photography enthusiasts. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Nilufer. Thank you so much for the introduction. Nilufer, we'll talk about the contest. First of all, I would like to congratulate your team, who has been doing amazing work and, coming up with such creative ideas. Because see, one, it allows photographers to explore, because sometimes we think that, we have done enough, but then, you are looking for some sort of, so it's kind of, gives a platform to amateurs as well as professionals. So it's really good. Hats off to everyone in the team. So today's we'll talk about creative shadows. So I would like to share my screen, and then I will share some images. So all images are shot by me, but we can if somebody is looking for inspiration, of course, they can search for these images. So I'll start with this. So creative shadows, and so as the name suggests, it's about shadows. So how these images can be used creatively. So in photography, shadows play a very important role, because see, we see things in 3D. So everything is three-dimensional, but when we capture these in in a frame in 2D. So it becomes you already have height and width, but shadows add depth to the picture. So it's very important, and it's a very creative exercise, I would say. So as if you can read this slide, shadow photography can be very intriguing way of creating subtle mood. So it can also enhance the mood of the picture, and it add elements, and it's very important. So using highly creative aspect of shadow play can obviously play a hugely important part in the composition of a photograph. So I'll share some images which I have shot. So this was shot at India Art Fair, and this is so I've given a copyright to the artist. So Anila Kayyum Aga, and she has been playing creating works of art with a lot of shadows. So I shot, and I wanted someone to come in the picture. So whenever anybody is trying to create some interesting images, so always try and add some elements, extra elements, or you can say surprise elements. So this girl was, of course, she was taking pictures. So when she came in the frame was complete. Otherwise it was just the artwork. So so it's very simple. Just wait for the right moment. And again, I was doing a campaign for Vivo, and we were shooting from phone. So these are all, most of them are phone images. So that is also something which we should talk about, that these images can be shot from phone or your mirrorless or DSLR cameras. So idea is to share images with creative shadows. That's what I think better photography is doing. So so again, when you are shooting pictures, so this is all natural light, by the way, and phone. So just wait for the right moment, right lighting. So shadows will create that extra dimension, as I just mentioned, that even in 2D, you have that little bit of third dimension coming into the picture. So that really elevates the mood of the picture. And this one I shot in Israel, Jerusalem, Al-Aqsa. So I could have initial frames were all the dome and the boys playing in the foreground. But then I went little low, you can see the low angle, and I could see these shadows, and they were sort of leading to the main monument. So it's very important to include shadows. You can of course shoot without the shadows as well, but this sort of adds to the mood of the picture. And shot in a akhada in Delhi. So shadows around that, so it weaves a story. The shadow of that table, even the the dumbbell, and and the things around, even the shadow of the mirror. So this all sort of makes a full composition. It makes a frame within that. So it's very important, and it's I would, I personally feel that this is one of the easiest exercise to practice, to challenge yourself, in terms of if you want to improve your composition. And again, your main subject, can be framed around the shadows. And morning and evening, everybody knows, is the best light to shoot. So this is early morning light, and I was in Bhutan, so this monk was. So I was waiting for something to happen. Otherwise, the frame is fine within itself. But the moment you have human element, it adds another dimension. So you can wait, or you can shoot just the light and shade. So these are the few things which I would want to share with our participants, people those who are willing to participate in this competition. So this will help you make your frames little better. So first is frame within frame. So here the main subject is, of course, the temple, and but because of the shadows around, you are sort of leading. So you are making a frame which is, of course, not natural. These are all trees, so you are creating that frame. You can see this temple without this frame as well, but when you move around, so it is very important for any genre of photography to observe. So when you observe, when you are shooting in a complex, when you are shooting in a a monument or a building, just try and recce, just move around the main building or the main subject. And this applies to even portraits. So just try and see where the light and there's a play of light and shade. So this is one practice you can do. Try and create your main subject with the frame around. So you create that frame. And then you can use shadows and leading lines. So, and these are basic simple principles of compositions. So good thing about this assignment would be that you can still follow very basic principles like leading lines, and you can be very creative. So a picture on the right, the father, he was moving with his daughter, and I wanted, I've taken simple frames where they were just moving around and they were watching this beautiful museum. But I shot deliberately with the shadows because it leads, it's sort of abstraction which helps. And on the picture on the left is shot in Jerusalem, and again I wanted some drama of I shot this guy, I was following him, and I shot, but then I saw that there was beautiful shadows forming, so it also tells you the time of the day, the long shadows. It's evening time or morning time, but this was shot in evening. So this is also something which you can practice when you are submitting your pictures, that try and use shadows as leading line, the shadows which are leading to the main subject. And mystery, I've already shared this picture, but there's a mystery to the frame, that what is happening around it, what are these shadows. So just try and create that. And if you observe enough, and this is a perfect time, Better Photography has chosen the perfect time for this assignment in particular, because the light is beautiful these days and throughout India, I would say. So you can just try and step out, or even in your house, just try and catch morning light and evening light. You will get beautiful shadows, and of course you can be very creative with those. So even with portraits, so you can get you can create patterns, like on the right, one of my friend, I shot her, a vocalist. So I saw that there was a beautiful pattern of light coming through the window, and of course then I added a little bit of my light as well, just to have that drama in the picture. On the left, a simple campaign for a garment, but still I framed it around shadows. So even in portraits, if you see her face and the background, it has been shot in a way, so there's a you can see the shadows all around, but still the main subject is highlighted. So it can be practiced even in portrait genre. So it can be, as I said, across genres, this can be practiced. And these are very basic, simple photographic composition tips. So and also I would like to add that when you want to highlight textures, if you're shooting, let's say, just textures or garments, it's very important to have shadows, otherwise the picture will look flat. So it also does that. And then you have you can add depth to the picture. Right pictures shot at the same place in South Korea, and left is Israel. But the shadow of this boy, who was trying to do some something with his bicycle. He was trying to impress me because I was taking his pictures. So he was free willy, he was doing, and I was more interested in the shadow which was forming. So it sort of adds a depth to the picture. And same on the right, if you see, this girl is framed around the trees and the shadows, so she is popping out, and even her shadow. So this is this is not very late evening, but I was on a short trip here for a few days, so I had to visit this museum around 3 or 4 I would say PM. So had it been even late, let's say 5 PM, the shadows would be even more dramatic. So wait for the right moment, and you can use this as well, like to add depth in the picture. You can use shadows, and you can creatively use them very nicely. So another example, of the same akhada which I just mentioned. No, sorry, this is a different akhada in Delhi. So you can also add mystery. I just mentioned. So the boy who's doing rope climbing, this is a very good exercise. Pahalwan, they do it in the morning and sometimes in the evening. So this is an early morning shot. So you see that pattern on the wall and the boy expression. So you have to also keep the good thing about this assignment is that you can keep very basics of photography in place, and you can be very creative, because shadow gives you that liberty. You can take a normal frame and just try and see what impact shadow is creating. So step out with your camera, with your phone, and take these pictures and utilize this wonderful time. So some more examples. These are very, very basic examples, again, morning light and, evening light at the beach. And so you can wait for get the right angle. If picture on the left is shot at the eye level, so you can see the shadows are, long shadows, but still you can see the depth in the background. But picture on the right has shot, almost, a very low angle. So you can see the impact. So this almost becomes like a a silhouette with shadows. So it's very interesting. So you can combine this with a lot of interesting elements. So a simple portrait, but the background. I was so again, this was for a Vivo, so shot with phone, but the impact on the background, it was so interesting to see the background, and it's just the shadow of a tree, and this you can observe and see everywhere around you these days. So just step out and try and shoot, early in the morning or late in the evening, and you'll get some amazing stuff. So and one more picture to share. So you can also create, shadows can also create story. A picture on the right, the little boy was praying on the Western Wall or a Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, and I saw this man crossing over. So I saw his shadow. So it's almost, as if the boy's shadow has, become a little bigger. So there is a drama, there is a mystery. Shadow is always been very attractive. It attracts a lot of photographers. So I would suggest that take out your camera and step out, and wherever you are, just take some great pictures with shadow as your main subject. So so this is it, Nilofer. I have these images to share. I can just go go through them once again. So, and as I said, I am sharing my images, but participants can also look for more inspiration through internet. There's a lot of stuff on Instagram. You can use right hashtags, creative shadows or shadows, or you can also use better photography. You will, I'm sure they have been featuring a lot of interesting stuff related to creative shadows. So as I said, it's a very interesting subject because it keeps, it reminds you of the basics of photography. So wonderful initiative, and I wish all the very best to all the participants. And I would be very keen to see the results, how people come up with these images of creative shadows. Thank you so much, Nilo, for
Thank
this
you
opportunity.
so much.
Thank you.